Welcome to the first in a series of promotional videos about my book on writing and the business of freelance writing. My name is Paul Lima, and I will tell you a little bit more about myself in a moment. Today's video is about the book, How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days. The book shows you how to brainstorm, outline, and write a solid first draft of your nonfiction book in just 60 days. You can read more about how to write a nonfiction book in 60 days on my website, paullima.com/books. Paul Lima, PAULLIMA.com/books. A little bit about me. I've been a professional writer for over 35 years. Since 1990, I've worked as a freelance business writer and promotional writer and writing trainer. I have written and self-published 20 books, most of them on writing or the business of freelance writing. All of them have been written in 60 days or less. If you want to know more about me, go to paullima.com. So what does it take to write a book in 60 days? It takes an idea. How to write a nonfiction book in 60 days spells out in detail the process required to move from your idea to a solid first draft of your book in, of course, 60 days. It will not help you find ideas. I'm presuming you have ideas for the nonfiction book. It also takes purpose. How to write a nonfiction book in 60 days will help you clearly define your purpose so you can focus on achieving what you set out to do. In other words, you need to know what you want to achieve in your book so that you can tell the readers what they will gain from your book. It also takes knowledge of your reader. How to write a nonfiction book in 60 days will help you ascertain what your readers know and what they need to know so you can logically present the information required to meet their expectations. Your readers also have a purpose. While you have a purpose for writing your book, your readers have a purpose that they hope your book will help them achieve in many cases. It takes time. How to write a nonfiction book in 60 days will show you how to use your time productively, to brainstorm all you need to know about your subject matter, to organize your thoughts and outline your book before you write. And that is key. You will, following the process I detail in the book, create a detailed outline before you start to write. In other words, you will eliminate the blank page. And it will show you how to write effectively and efficiently from outline point to outline point until you complete a solid first draft of your book in 60 working days. Yes, you will still have to edit, proofread, perhaps hire an editor, proofreader, but any author has to edit their book after they get their first draft done. So you may have this question, can you write a book in 60 days? You can if you devote to 3 to 4 hours a day to writing your book. The time does not include research you have to do before writing. So this is the pre-writing and writing of your book. If you devote 3 to 4 hours a week, it will take you 60 weeks or 60 working days to write your book. So the key is to devote time to writing your book. And How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days will show you what to devote your time to, both the pre-writing work, the outlining, and then the writing from point to point. Why 60 days? This book could have been titled How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 30, 60, or 90 days. 90 days felt too long, 30 days didn't seem feasible. 60 days, as Goldilocks said, is just right. The fact is, it can literally take you 1 or 2 days to actually write your book once you've got it organized and outlined. And the book will tell you why it takes so little time to write your book once you've done the pre-writing work. That is crucial to writing your book. How to Write a Book in 60 Days shows you how to do the pre-writing work you need to do to get to that point, where it can literally take you 1 or 2 days, 24 to 48 hours to write your book. So if you don't mind staying up for a couple of days, drinking lots of coffee, Once your book is organized and outlined, you can write it in as little as 1 or 2 days. So what have people said about the book? People about the book. Linda Morris, being the best business owner and employee advisor and coach, said, I tossed a book I've been working on for months and started from scratch, following your process and using all my previous research. I started writing this morning following the guidelines in your book, and I'm off to a great start. Now notice that she had her research done, and How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days doesn't include the research, but it presumes you have done the research, be it internal or external, to write your book. Once you've got all that information in your head, my book will show you how to get it down on paper, organized, outline, and then write. You take what is, to most people, a big, hairy, scary project and break it down into a process that seems almost mundane. It's in its simplicity. All of a sudden, writing a book is possible. That's what Angie Gallup, author of the PWAC Guide to Roughing It in the Market, wrote. PWAC is the Professional Writers Association of Canada. Angie is a professional writer, has been for many years. That's what she had to say about the book. I was struggling to find a book that simply sets out how to write a nonfiction book. I wanted a methodology that has proven to work, and I have found it in your excellent book. You take the best techniques out there, free fall, stream of consciousness, writing, clustering, mind mapping, and integrate them into a logical system that is easy to follow. I can see light at the end of the tunnel. My writing project has become less fearful thanks to Paul. So said James Foucault. And How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days will introduce you to free fall or stream of consciousness writing. And stream of consciousness writing is something you apply once you have done clustering and mind mapping and outline your book. You write rapidly from point to point, but first you'll have all the points down on paper. So you won't be starting to write with a blank page. You'll be literally starting to write with your book clearly outlined. 60 days is encouraging and positive and would allow someone who has good writing skills to believe they could in fact write a book. It gives a clear and concise listing of the tasks needed to write a book and then provides the tools needed to complete the task. So says Joanna Burton, a medical social worker and freelance writer author. So I will show you how to write your book. I will give you the tools you need to complete your book. I'm in the midst of writing my second book, and How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days gave me a serious energy boost. I have been a bit intimidated by the thought of writing a 75,000 word book, and reading your book has given me the tools I need to complete it. Our techniques are similar, but yours have obviously been developed and fine-tuned, and they really help me. Heather Cook, author of Rookie Rainer. So Heather is a book author. She uses some of the techniques that I describe in How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days, but she hadn't seen the techniques set out the way I set them out, in the order I set them out. And so that has helped her with her writing. So 60 days, what's it all about? Here's the table of contents. Can you write a book in 60 days? And I think we've already answered that question. The journey begins day 1. Pre-writing exercises, day 2. Pre-writing exercises, day 3. The writing process. There is a process to writing, and I explain it on day 4. Preparation, day 5 and 6. Research, day 7. As I said, the book doesn't help you do your research, but once you've done your research, it helps you do what I call internal research to get the information out of you and down on paper, so you can get it organized. Day 1 and day 2, day 8 and day 9, 2 chapters on that, 3 chapters in day 10. And then from days 11 to 31, you produce chapter by chapter outlines. Literally, before you start to write chapter 12, you have your book outline, detailed outline in front of you. And for those of you who may want to self-publish your book, I've got a chapter 13 on A Tale of Self-Publishing. And for those of you who need a little assistance with your writing, chapter 14 is on sentences and paragraphs to help you do the actual writing. So what is getting organized before you write? Tell your story, how to write memoirs and autobiographies. This is the table of contents from that book. Memoir versus autobiography. That's a chapter. The writing process before you start. Structure of memoir autobiography. And I won't read all the chapters to you, but my book, How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days, will help you get to this point where you've got all your chapters organized, and then it will demonstrate how you outline each chapter before you write. So literally, the blank page is gone. Your book is organized and outlined and ready to be written in 30 days, and then you spend 30 days writing the book. As I said, you can write your book in 2 days, but that takes a lot of coffee and no sleep. A table of contents, example number 2, The Accidental Writer. This is my memoir. Starts with an introduction. Boring Boy, Give a Shout, Beyond Button Sucking. Now, these chapter names don't mean anything to you, but they mean a lot to me, so that when I go to outline each chapter, I understand exactly what I'm working on, exactly what information I want to convey. Me, an editor, Idiot Things I Have Done, The Candy Store Man, etc. And we get to accidental paid writer, becoming a freelance writer, accidental trainer, accidental dad, accidental dog lover. So as you can see, I've got all the chapters outlined, and then I outline each chapter before I write, so that literally it is all over but the writing. What you do in 60 days, we'll show you how to do it, is you convert chapter clusters to outline. So each chapter, chapter 1, title of chapter, will have major point 1, subpoint 1, secondary point A, B, could be C, D, and E. Tertiary point 1, 2, could be 3, 4, 5. And you carry on to major subpoint 2 for that chapter, secondary points, tertiary points, etc. So you will have all these points in front of you before you begin to write. So when you begin to write, you simply write from point to point to point, create sentences and paragraphs. So how to write a nonfiction book in 60 days. That's one of 20 books that I've written. I will not read all the titles of my books to you. If you're interested, you can go to paulima.com/books and see the titles of all the books that I have written, although I have them here. But again, I'm not going to read them all to you. paulima.com/books, and you will see all the titles. You can read about each book, and you will see links on where to buy the print, EPUB, Kindle, or PDF version of the book. I also offer a series of Pay What You Can webinars. Tell your story, how to write memoirs and autobiographies, how to find corporate work as a freelance writer, how to become an effective and efficient email writer, how to write effectively and efficiently about any topic, and a webinar on how to write a nonfiction book in 60 days. Now, if you take the webinar and you quote, pay what you can for it, once I get a notice that you have paid for the webinar, I will send you, if you're interested, a free PDF of how to write a nonfiction book in 60 days. So you can take the webinar and get a free PDF of the book, which will fill in some of the gaps because it's longer than the webinar. If you buy the book, How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days, email me your receipt, and you can take the nonfiction book in 60 days webinar or any of the other webinars at no cost. If you have any questions, go to paullima.com, PWYC. You will see a link to my email, and you can send me an email and ask me any questions you might have. Thank you for your time. Have a good day and happy writing. That has been the book trailer for How to Write a Nonfiction Book in 60 Days. More information at paullima.com/books. Thank you. Have a great day.